I'm glad to be here with you guys today. We have some teacher training students in the class because they're in their training this weekend. And I was telling them earlier, I feel very energized when in a teacher training class in the community, people are so dedicated and they're really sharing their experiences and asking great questions. So it's a very energizing time for me in this teacher training. And I've never run a whole teacher training program online before. So I'm also learning some things and learning that it actually can work. So it's really fun. Okay, so we are going to start with a quiet meditation. I think the other people signing in are here now, so very good. We are here together. Hi, everyone. I'm just going to smile at all of you for a moment. So glad that you're here. I'm looking at your time zones, only because I know where you live, not because it's listed inside Zoom. So I just like to see where we're gathering from. So very nice. Good, good. Okay, let's sit for a few moments of quiet together. This morning we are going to use the chant Om Namah Shivaya Gurave. Some of you know that from a long time back, and some of you are learning it today for the first time. So please rest your hands in your lap and let your eyes close. If you prefer not to close your eyes, of course, totally understandable. Your gaze can go down and be relatively unfocused, so your mind goes inward. And let's begin by just observing in a very non-judgmental way. If you were to describe the quality of your mind in one of these 5 states, disturbed, dull, distracted, one-pointed, or lucid, where would you sense your mind to be as you're arriving for class? So disturbed, dull, distracted, one-pointed, or lucid. Be honest with yourself and completely free from judgment about whatever you notice. And so as you're noticing what is the quality of your mind, you might also notice what is the feeling tone of your body. So each of us, we have the 3 gunas acting in our system all the time. So the tamas guna is the guna that is a little bit more stable, more inert, more cohesive, more grounded, but also more sedentary, more sometimes overly still. The rajas guna is that which is energized, motivated, it's mobilized. Sometimes it's horizontally activated and ungrounded. And the sattva guna is that which is most clear, most translucent. It is a quality of lightness and openness without attachment. But it can also be dissociation, like we're not really in the body. And try to get a sense of where you are. What quality of mind, what is the feeling tone of your body? Acknowledging those 2 things, then the third thing is noticing from where you are able to pay attention. From where within you is that benevolent observation occurring. And with appreciation for the part of you that can observe and can observe without judgment, please bring your hands together at your heart. And we'll chant. The first time we'll do call and response, so I'll sing both lines, and then we'll sing it in harmony together. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave. Satchidananda Murtaye. Satchidananda Murtaye. Nishprapanchaya Shantaya. Nishprapanchaya Shantaya. Niralambaya Tejase. Niralambaya Tejase. Now we try it together. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave. Satchidananda Murtaye. Nishprapanchaya Shantaya. Niralambaya Tejase. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave. Satchidananda Murtaye. Nishprapanchaya Shantaya. Niralambaya Tejase. Om Shanti Om. Shanti Shanti Om. And with your exhale, you may bow your head to your heart. And release your hands. Please open your eyes. And as you sit upright, we're going to begin with a simple breathing practice. I'm going to move away from the computer so I don't knock into it. And let me change my glasses. Where are my, oh, there we go. So those are my concussion glasses. These are my other glasses. I'm further from the computer. So what we're going to do now in this simple breathing practice is try to sense how you can move the gunas, the energies, rajas, tamas, and sattva, in your system. So this is something that you can move, these energies. You're probably doing it unconsciously already in life. Like some foods make us feel more tamasic, some foods make us feel more rajasic, and some foods make us feel more sattvic. Same thing with relationships and conversations and what we bring into our senses, the news we watch, the entertainment we seek, the natural world. We're influenced by all of these things. So let's do this while you're sitting, and my hope is that you're sitting cross-legged right now in some form of cross-legged. Place your hands out over your knees. I'll bring my video camera down slightly. Okay. And then keeping yourself upright to start, please inhale and lengthen up through your spine. And then exhale and round your spine like you're doing cat pose, gaze inward. Now inhale, raise your heart, open your throat, lift up like cow pose. And exhale, downward and inward. Inhale, upward and outward. Exhale, downward and inward. Twice more, inhale, upward and outward. Exhale, downward and inward. Last one, inhale to go up. And exhale, downward and inward. Raise up to a tall seat. Place your left hand on the side of your mat. Inhale, raise your right arm up and side bend to your left. Exhale, upright, lift your right arm and your left arm both. Inhale, other side. Exhale to rise. Notice that that requires some core strength in the belly. Inhale to the side. Exhale to rise. Root down into your hips to lift your torso. Inhale, other side. Exhale to rise. Inhale to the side. Twice more. Exhale, rise up. Inhale, sideways. Exhale, rise up. Float the arms wide. And pause to notice. Now, those of you who might feel like we were backwards on the inhale there, because inhale should take us up and exhale should take us down, that was a purposeful switch for me with you. So the exhale up required you to use your core strength, your stability in your pelvis. And the inhale to the side is to open the intercostal muscles and the latissimus dorsi on each side. Let's come up to standing and repeat those two. So when you rise up to stand, I'm going to walk backwards, Susie, and we can get my phone. So take a stance just as wide as your yoga mat to start. And come down onto your knees like you're playing the role of the umpire at the baseball game. And on the inhale, we do it like cow pose. So the chest and heart open and the throat as well. And then exhale like cat pose. Inhale, come forward like cow pose. So upwards and outwards. Exhale, downward and inward. Inhale, forward, upward, outward. Exhale, downward and inward. Again, inhale, forward, upward, outward. Exhale, downward and inward. Press up to stand. Make your feet wider, as wide as you would do for Prasarita. Sweep the arms wide like this, and then arms up overhead. Okay, with your inhale, side bend. Exhale, pull upwards. Inhale, side bend. Exhale, pull upwards. Use the full length and strength of your exhale. But inhale, side bend. Exhale, upright. Notice the use of the deep low belly to come up. Inhale, side bend without any sense of collapsing. Exhale, pull upright. Okay, twice more. Inhale, side bend. Exhale, root down to rise. Inhale, side bend, last one. Exhale, root down to rise. Inhale to open. And then exhale, forward bend. When you come down, touch the floor or the blocks and let the torso cascade down towards the floor. So energize both legs from your toes and your heels up from your inner arches to the inseams of the legs and into your pelvis. So the energy with which you do that is called rajas, the energy that energizes. So what you're doing is energizing from your feet up through your legs into your hips and your pelvis. You're kind of turning on the element of rajas. It's a motivated quality. At the same time, you're giving a place for your mind to become more stable. So the mind has a kind of place to land. Right? So now, keeping your legs stable, walk your hands forward so it looks like downward dog from the ceiling for your hands and your hips, but Prasarita for the legs. And as you do this, continue to energize your legs
But now with the torso stretched out, notice what changes in the overall tone and the feeling sense of your body. So quite likely, if you felt a little bit sedentary or lethargic, walking the hands forward like this increases the space, the motivation, the mobilization of the body. So when you inhale, let the back of the body open like a parachute. So the back of your waist, the back of your diaphragm, the back of your heart. And when you exhale, let the heart soften a tiny bit like a hammock, but don't let the armpits hammock towards the floor. We all know that a hammock is tied between two places, and you want to keep both of those places stable. So in this case, that is your shoulder girdles and your hip girdles. We don't want the heart to hammock and for the armpits to also collapse. We do want the heart to soften. And when you next exhale, walk your hands back toward the line between your feet and bow down between the legs. So this pose has a more inward and downward quality. Notice what the influence is for your mind and for your body. And then shift your hands to your hips and please rise up to standing. And turn your heels in, toes in, toes in like this. Okay. And now standing on your left leg, bring your right knee up to tree pose. When you bring your right foot up, place it anywhere on the inseam of your left leg that feels like a place where you have some stability. Could even be the kickstand position on the floor. And then join your hands together at your heart. And notice the feeling tone of this pose and its influence for your mind and for your body. So I'd like you to energize both legs so they are working like the roots of the trees are working right now in nature. And then try this with the hands and palms down. Turn your palms face forward, arms down. And then when the arms go out at shoulder height, what changes for the mind? And when your arms go upwards, what changes there for the mind? And then when you exhale, sweep the arms wide, noticing the influence that has on your mind as your hands come back to your heart. And then place your right foot down. And standing on your right foot, pick up your left leg and place it anywhere along the inseam of your right leg where you have the greatest stability and also the greatest opportunity. And then joining your palms together at your heart. Notice how this pose, the structure of this pose, how it influences your mind. Energize the muscles of your standing leg for sure, including the outer right hip. And you can focus on lengthening the inner left thigh. So there is dynamic effort, just like the roots in the trees of nature around us right now. And take the arms down, palms face forward. And notice what occurs for you when your arms come up and out to the side. And when the arms come up overhead. So what happens to the gunas in the body? Where do you feel more stable, more energized, more balanced? And also in the mind. The mind feels more stable or more dull, more energized or sometimes more chaotic, more lucid or sometimes more spaced out. And then
And sweep the arms wide. So practice of yoga is not just this physical journey, it's also this self-study, this Svadhyaya. Step your left foot down. And then come forward to the top of your mat for surya namaskar. So my intention this afternoon is that we can explore these different paces in the practice, and that the different paces, the different gunas, start to feel like they're familiar to you, they're intimate to you. They're not just mysterious Sanskrit words. So please join your hands together at your heart. Come into your ujjayi breathing now, so you sense the subtle whispering sound in the back hollow of the throat. When you next exhale, release your arms down, turn your palms forward, energize your legs. And inhale, raise your arms up. So this is upward and outward, gaze up. And then exhale, bow forward. This is downward and inward. Inhale, glide forward, forward and outward. Exhale, bow deeply towards the legs, downward and inward. Again, inhale, forward and outwards. Exhale your left foot back. Take your time to complete the exhale. It's a downward action with the breath and with the legs. And then inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. So this is upward and outward. And then you get to choose here. So you can keep the arms up if that supports your practice to be at its best. You could choose arms wide, gaze forward. You could choose hands to the heart, gaze just past the tips of the fingers. This choice is for someone who needs their mind to feel more grounded, more consolidated, more here. This choice, arms wide, gaze forward, is a sense of we need some spaciousness and equanimity. And then arms upwards and gaze upwards is for optimism, motivation. Whichever you're choosing, enjoy 2 more full breath cycles. Knowing that the choice that you make, you can keep adapting it, you can keep exploring, and it should be a choice you're making on behalf of your practice, not on behalf of a photograph of yoga. When you next exhale, then release to come slowly over your front leg. Touch the 2 blocks. Let's inhale, step forward, heart forward. And then exhale for a deep bow towards the legs, downward and inward. Inhale, glide forward, forward and outward. Exhale, take your right foot back. It's a downward action with the legs and with your breath. And then inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. You can touch what's familiar in the pose first. And then really ask yourself, where do I need to be for my mind to be most beneficial to my practice? Or you could say for my mind to be least problematic for my practice. Where do you need to be with your hands, your arms, your heart, your eyes? Only you can really know from within. And you want to make the choice based on the benefit to your practice from your wise mind perspective. Take 3 more full breath cycles. Whatever choice you've made, it ought to feel like the breath is able to make use of this position. And that your mind is becoming either more grounded, more expansive, more optimistic, more tamas, more rajas, more sattva. And when you next exhale, 3rd exhale comes, then come forward and touch the 2 blocks. And let's put them aside. Please step backwards to downward dog pose. downward facing dog is a downward and inward pose. You can gaze back towards your toes, so it's downward and inward automatically, but you can also have a sense that you're gazing back at all the footsteps that you've already taken, remembering the countless moments of yoga that you've already tried to implement in your life. You've already made this commitment, as have your teachers before you and their teachers before them. So bringing that with you, when you next inhale, come forward to plank pose. And then exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Come onto your stomach. Please point your toes. Now inhale, roll up to Bhujangasana, Cobra pose, upwards and outwards. Exhale, roll down, Pranam, downward and inward. Inhale, roll upwards, Cobra. Lift your heart and your gaze. Exhale, roll down. Take your time. Again. And exhale to roll down. Let's do one more time. Inhale, roll up. Exhale to glide down. Now inhale, press up to table. Take one block, reach back to child's pose. Rest your head here for a few moments. And then walk yourself up to kneeling and take the block to go under the back of your pelvis. Sit Zazen style for a moment. Okay. And let's check in and see. Now, what is the quality of the mind when you come to your seat? Without judgment, what is the quality of the mind? Disturbed, dull, distracted, one-pointed, or lucid? And what is the feeling tone of the body? More tamas, more rajas, or more sattva? And then please bring your hands to your heart to notice and acknowledge the transition here in your practice. And then we'll place the two blocks one more time. So now I'm going to give you a practice where we use some of those same elements. And I'm going to increase the rajas in the practice. And then I'll move you to tamas and sattva. And I'll name those things when they're happening. So please come up to standing. You will still have permission in the crescent lunge to choose the arm position that's most suited to you. Join your hands together, please. Okay, so Ujjayi breathing, but we're going to be a little bit faster with the breath. This is on purpose, so don't make it too rajasic. It should not cause chaos. We want it to cause motivation and to do some cleansing for the body. So here we go. Here's the inhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Left foot back. Breathe in. Breathe out. Step forward, breathe in. Breathe out. Right foot back. Breathe in. Breathe out. Blocks aside. Downward dog. Chaturanga. Cobra. Down. Plank.
Downward dog. Inhale. Step forward. Rise up. Inhale. To the heart. Breathe in. Breathe out. Forward. Left foot. Crescent. Breathe out. Forward. Right foot. Breathe in. Breathe out. Downward dog. Chaturanga. Cobra. Forward. Plank. Downward dog. Inhale. Step forward. Rise up. To the heart. Again, breathe in. Forward. Inhale. Left foot. Breathe in. Breathe out. Forward. Right foot. Breathe in. Breathe out. Downward dog. Chaturanga. Cobra. Lowering down. Plank. Downward dog. Step forward. Rising up to the heart. Invite yourself to stand really still. You can let the arms dangle if you like. And stand in the center of the front of the heels, the back of your arches. Line up your ankles and then your shin bones. Stack the knees over your shins and your thigh bones over your knees. Set your pelvis on top of your thighs like a lampshade that's balanced on the post. And travel up through the chakras, checking that the second chakra as the bladder is not tipping forward, sacrum not falling in. Third chakra as the stomach and the floating ribs not flaring forward. Heart chakra, spacious, lifted slightly. Throat chakra, also not pushing forward. Upper palate to the sixth chakra, to the crown. Now come over to uttanasana with both blocks, please. And as you place the blocks, touch your fingertips to the high part of the block here and step backwards with your left foot. Pivot your left heel to the floor to line it up with your right heel. You can look back and check that you've done that. Let's keep both blocks available.
but bring your right hand to the block where your left hand has been. Take your left hand to your left hip. Root your tailbone down so that your left heel becomes more grounded. And begin slowly rotating your pelvis, then your lower belly, then your rib cage, shoulders, heart. Coming towards the pose we call Parshvakonasana. On your inhale, sweep your left arm alongside your left ear and alongside your head. I realize that your right hand is quite a bit to the inside of your right foot, so see if you can explore that nuance. A couple of very important points here. When you root your left heel, also lift your left inner arch. Tone the inseam of your left leg up to the inner thigh. Root your tailbone so that your right outer hip is toned and the right outer thigh and hamstring are participating in your strength. Lengthen your right knee in line with your third toe. And press into your big toe and your right outer heel. So those elements are all part of your tamas, your foundation here. Now as you're twisting the upper body, go thoughtfully, slowly to your left. Listen for the quality of mind with which you are exploring. And when you exhale, start the process of descending so your left hand comes down to where your right hand is. Move the right hand back over to sort of its block. Pivot your left heel up and please step forward. And enjoy uttanasana for a few moments. Notice the varied energy patterns in your body right now. And then come up high on your fingertips and step your right foot back. Pivot your right heel to line up with your left heel. Peek back and check that you're doing so. Okay, and then take your left hand to the block that was there for your right hand. Take your right hand to your right hip. Press into your right heel. And as you lift the inner right thigh, root your tailbone and begin the process of turning your pelvis, lower belly, rib cage, your heart and your shoulders. And then sweep your right arm alongside your right ear. Using the Ujjayi breath as your sort of chaperone inside, notice the points of the pose that kind of make up the essentials for stability. So your right big toe, right inner heel. Lift your right inner arch. Tone the right inner thigh. As you root your tailbone, use your left outer hip wisely. Tone the outer hip muscles, energize your left hamstring. Aim your left knee in line with your third toe. And while keeping the left inner thigh long, start reaching from your right low belly along the right side of your waist, right upper quadrant in the shoulder, and into your right arm, your fingers and your thumb. And then as you exhale, begin lowering down. Use the two blocks to step backwards to a high downward dog pose. And then roll forward, lightly touch your knees down. Take one block to sit on in Zazen. And when you sit on the block, come upright, rest your palms face down in your lap. And watch the energy patterns in the body. They might be shifting right now because your body goes through an integration, assimilation, also metabolizing, discarding, reconciling. And then put the blocks aside and please reach for your chair. So I'll show you my chair as a profile. You can put yours however you would like to. So when you sit on the chair, actually I'm going to be facing you guys. How do I do it? I put the chair, yeah, I guess it's okay. I'll sit this way. So you sit on the chair. I'm going to show you my facing forward because I'm twisting to the right. So let's put the right side of the body to the chair first. And the most spacious version of the twist is this, that you hold the upper back of the chair with both hands. And this is where you have the most kind of aeration, right? The body has the most space. So this is recommended if it helps your mind to feel more stable, more sublime. Also, if you have your menstrual cycle or if you're pregnant, this is more recommended than being in a compressive twist. If you've had an issue with your sacrum or you've had a hip replacement and you have some uncertainties about that, this is the twist also to use. If you'd like a little deeper twist or a twist that adds some compression, you're going to come down, and while you hold across your lap like this, you can add a little twist holding the upper back of the chair. Another option is to reach the left hand down between the two legs and to hold the leg of the chair under the right thigh and to twist to the right. And another option is to put your left arm on the outside of your right leg. And again, to hold the leg of the chair and to twist to your right. So I'd like you to really ask yourself about the choices that you're making, because I want you to nourish the quality of mind that's going to feel most balanced, most sattvic for you. And then breathing in. Let's use the exhale to unwind whatever twist you were using. Please use your exhale now to come up. Rest your hands, palms face down in your lap. And watch the process of your mind. Call it back home. Bring your senses in. Coming back to notice the benevolent observer in you, that in you which is observing the process without judgment. And please switch to the other side of your twist. So again, you make the choices based on not just the physical body, right? We're not asking how far can I bend, we're asking what quality of mind can I best do Svadhyaya with. So you might take the most spacious form of the twist. You might choose the most compressive form of the twist. But if we want to practice Svadhyaya, which means self-study, we should not agitate the mind and then try to study ourselves with an agitated mind. So the choices you're making right now will also be contributing to your experience in your Shavasana, which is a pose for integration and renewal. So make a choice here. If you can't consider what does it mean to study the self or to practice Svadhyaya, ask, what kind of Shavasana do I want to have? What experience do I want there for renewal? So my current favorite version of the twist is when I bring my right arm down between the two legs and then hold under the left leg to hold the chair with my right hand. You may have your own variation to explore right now. Notice how you're making your choices. It is not always based on what the body could do. It's never based on what the body, quote unquote, should do. We actually base these choices on the outcome that's influencing the mind, the brain, the nervous system, everything about us for the purpose of self-study, Svadhyaya. Let's use an exhale to exit the pose, rise up to sitting. Bring your hands to your lap. Notice what is happening physiologically, but also energetically and mentally. Call your senses back in. The wild horses, they're coming home. And then we're going to use the 2 blocks on the chair to set up for Shavasana. So if you place your chair at one end of your yoga mat, and if your chair has a back on it, it's helpful to turn the chair sideways so that your legs don't run into the upper back of the chair. Mine has an opening in it, so that will work, of course. So you're going to come down. When you lie down, place your calves on the chair. Put the blocks on the flat setting like this. And the 2 blocks are going to make a little V shape, looks like this. And that goes under the pelvis so that the bottom of the triangle is at the tailbone. When you first get set there, you're going to kind of know where you need to be if when you bring your knees to your chest, which I'm going to ask you to do, that you feel like the sacrum is held between the 2 blocks. You take the arms overhead. This is like doing a lying down version of child's pose. So invite the deep low belly to relax. And just above the pubic bone, across from one hip bone to the other. You're not using belly muscles to hold the knees towards the chest here. The knees can be wide enough that the belly gently expands with the inhale. And then gently surrenders with the exhale. And then thoughtfully glide your shins over the chair seat. And decide for yourself if the arms overhead is the comfortable and mentally supportive position, or arms out to the side, or palms face down alongside the torso. We are going to keep the blocks under the sacrum. My hope is that they feel really comfortable right now, that the two blocks feel comfortable. So I'd like you to picture the inner energy of your body now as a clear, smooth river, so clear that when the sun touches the river, even though the river is moving, you can see clearly to the bottom of the river, the rocks, the riverbed. This river is not fast or turbulent, nor is it too slow or sedentary. Imagine the riverbed, the rocks, and the sunlight able to shine through the clear water. Where you're able to keep your gaze on the riverbed itself, the water moving, but without your eyes being tempted to follow. So imagine keeping your mind stable, contented to gaze at the rocks of the riverbed, illuminated by the sun. Allow the physical body to become like the riverbed, very stable and very still. Invite your body to become more deeply still. The mind resting in one place at the bed of the river. Invite the mind and the body to become even more still. The light moving through the river, shining upon the rocks where your eyes are stable. And let the stillness go a few degrees more deeply. You may sense the vitality of the river, but do not let the mind or the eyes be pulled to follow the river right now. You may slightly deepen your awareness, keeping the body very still, very relaxed. Allow the breath to be on that river now, the central channel. And slowly become aware of the light against your eyelids. And thoughtfully open your eyes to sense the light in your room. The body is very still, that is called tamas. The breath moving, it has some rajas. And the eyes can be lucid or clear to sense the immensity of the space that we exist in. Gently tone your low belly and slide your knees towards your chest. Notice when your knees come to your chest that river of energy in the body goes more towards the head, that its current is gently increased. And you can put one foot on the chair seat to lift the hips. Take the blocks out from under and please roll to your side. Let's use both hands to come up to sit. And if it's convenient, then you can sit in zazen. Just take one block to sit on. When you come up to sit, this is a very important moment in the practice. You come up with the quality of mind we hope is the most yogic. that you'll be able to see in Svadhyaya, in self-study, self-reflection. The intention is to see with clarity and with honesty, also to see our most indwelling nature, that which is infusing everything, that which we are intimately interconnected to. Bring your hands together at your heart, please. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantayo Niralambaya Tejase Om Shanti Om Shanti Shanti Om. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste. And give thanks also to our teachers and our teachers' teachers.